Okay, okay, and have you had it personally? Do you know anybody who's experienced it?
My uncle, and he said it was good for him.
He had acupuncture.
Yeah.
My dad
Okay,
had acupuncture.
and your dad had acupuncture. So, and how have you've obviously heard
my
about
mom's a social worker.
acupuncture.
Mom's a social worker, so she does all this holistic healing stuff.
Your mom does what?
She's a social worker, so she I'm very
Okay.
versed with the holistic healing and all that.
Okay, very good. And the term holistic healing, do you have an understanding about that? Have you learned about that
Yeah.
in school, in nursing school?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
That's what we're here for.
Okay, so essentially the idea of holistic is about the whole person, right? Does that make sense? So it takes into account the physical, mental, and emotional, and even spiritual aspects of someone. Now, do you have an understanding of the idea of energy medicine, what that means?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you just a little bit of an explanation. The whole world in life operates on energy. From the smallest cell, you know, you have your RNA, you have your DNA, you have the mitochondria, right, which gives energy to the cell. And then you have your EKG for the heart. So energy is measurable. So EKGs measure the heart. An EEG for the brain is an electroencephalogram, and that measures brain waves. So if somebody was taking, let's say, a sergeant or a detective was giving somebody a lie detector test, they would be able to ascertain through a lie detector test the brain waves, whether or not somebody was telling the truth. Okay? Also with your muscles. Energy, electromyelogram, that's another kind of energy. Then we have geothermal energy, right? What are the kinds of energy that do you know of in the world? What other types of energy can you think of?
Well, whenever I think of energy, I just think of heat energy.
I think
Okay.
steam powered, water powered.
Exactly. Geothermal energy, there's nuclear power energy, right? Solar energy. So you're right on with it. So essentially, when my client comes today, you're going to see me sit here with her, and I'm going to do somewhat of a catch-up session. She's not a new client, but if she were a new client, I usually do a 20-minute pre-consult, which is on the phone with my client or prospective client, to find out what their issues are and to find out, so they could find out what energy work will do for them, how it will help them. Okay, so since she is already a client, I'm going to sit down with her, we're going to catch up, she's going to let me know how she's doing since her last session, which happened to have been last week, and then after that, we're going to proceed into the living room. That's where I have my massage table. I am going to do some energy checking, which is another term for it is called kinesiology, which is muscle testing, but it's the testing of alarm points, which correspond to certain organs in the body, and it also corresponds to something called meridians. They're acupressure points, if you've heard of acupuncture, but we're not using any needles here. And so I'm going to energy check to see if any of them are out. And if any of them are out, I will try to make those corrections. The next part of the segment in my session will be, I will do an energy balancing session on my client where she will lie down first, face down. I will do energy balancing on her face down, then she will face up, and I will do other procedures, other energy balancing procedures on her. I will do something called the spinal flush when she's lying face down. I will be doing some which works the neurolymphatics along the spinal column, and that helps the lymphatics. It boosts your immune system. I will be doing something called a belt flow on her back, and also when she's lying face up, and that connects the energy in the upper part of the body with the energy in the lower part of the body, and something called a black pearl, which is so relaxing, and that works on the hypothalamus, which is part of the limbic system in the brain, and deep relaxation often occurs. Now, because she knows you guys are here today and you're observing, she knows that she may or may not, she'll probably feel relaxed, but she may not necessarily fall asleep. And a lot of my clients do fall asleep when they are undergoing a black pearl treatment. And then after that, at the end of the session, I will be going over an energy routine, which you guys can join us in, and that way you can experience for yourself what energy medicine, what some of the energy exercises are all about, which is what I assign my clients to do on a daily basis in order to keep their energy up, in order to maintain the work that we've done. So that's it in a nutshell. Any questions?
What kind of issues? Like you said, issues like what? Like stress,
Yes.
sickness, broken bones, like.
Stress is a big one. Stress is a big one. Most of my clients are women, ranging in the age from 15 up through the early 70s. And stress, as you know, from being in school, right? You're thinking, okay, my grades, I want to keep up my grades. So everybody experiences stress. Sometimes when people experience too much stress, they start to feel tired or they start to get sick. So stress, if it's overwhelming, can affect the body's ability to cope, can affect the physical, mental, emotional well-being of a person. So essentially, whatever I am doing, stress is always the biggest component of that. As far as there being any pain, yes, there are things that we could do for pain, just like an acupuncturist works on pain. So anytime there is pain, that usually means there's too much energy in a particular meridian. And so when we determine where the pain is located, and then I determine which meridian that is, if there's too much energy causing the pain, then I will sedate that particular acupressure point in order to alleviate the pain. So that's how that works. So that was a really good question, Amanda. Any other questions?
What's your license?
My background, I'm a registered nurse, and I'm also certified as a homeopath, and I'm also certified in energy medicine.
Okay.
So a lot of postgraduate work that I've done in order to do this.
Where'd you go for the postgraduate work?
Well, let's see. The school that I attended for homeopathy was a school called Teliosis School of Homeopathy, and it was in New York City. And they closed that branch, and they have a branch now in Cambridge and in Massachusetts. So that's still going on there. And then I was trained by Donna Eden, who is a pioneer in the field of energy medicine. And she is, I would say she's in her mid to late 60s at this time, and she's worked on thousands and thousands of clients. And so she was a massage therapist. And so I got my 2-year training with her, and that was out in Arizona, in Phoenix. So I've done some traveling back and forth with my training, and it's wonderful. And the thing that I know I'm making a difference by what my clients tell me, and I also know I'm making a difference when they suggest to their friends and their family that they should come and see me.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel really good about the work that I do.
Yeah.
All right.
When did you get started into energy medicine?
Oh, let's see. Okay, I think homeopathy was my first venture. Actually, chiropractic was my first venture into energy medicine. And in 1994, I was married. I became pregnant with my first child, and I was introduced to a chiropractor who was also a homeopath. And so I went for chiropractic adjustments, and he introduced me to the field of homeopathy. And homeopathy is amazing, and it's just made tremendous improvements in my life. It's helped me grow. I think energy work, the best thing about energy work, any type of energy work, is that if you're someone who's interested in self-growth and you want to expand your horizons, you want to feel more capable, more confident, you want to grow, you want to feel connected to those around you, you want to take advantage of opportunities that come your way, this type of work helps a person do that, to be their very best, physically, mentally, emotionally. So that's why I love it. Okay? All right. So we're going to proceed into the living room. Would you guys like some water? I have
I'm
some.
okay.
Are you sure? Because
Yeah.
you're gonna be here for quite a while. How about this? You don't have to drink it, but how about I fill? I'm like a mom. I have 2 kids. This is me. How about I fill up some water for you? I have some coasters. I want to show you where you're gonna sit in the living room, and you could sip it or not sip it. But if you do get thirsty, this way you
No.
have it.